As many of us know from the headlines, there are so many things that lead to a person's involvement in the criminal justice system, and it's heartbreaking for us when we find that those juveniles that are justice involved have really thrown their lives away.
Then they put you on trial. I was just a young child. Gave you 25 to life, all these years gone by, and you never asked why. All you did was pray to God, all you did was waste your time.
I was in jail facing 31 to 75 years. So I was thinking, that I needed to take some time. But 19 years, it just wasn't sitting right with me, especially me being 17 at the time. I really didn't know how 19 years felt. At the end of the trial, September 14, 2012, the jury gave me a not guilty verdict, and I was able to come home.
Well, I think what people don't know about the criminal justice system is that it is doing harm. It's designed and led primarily by lawyers and law enforcement. As a lawyer, I went to law school. I know what we learned. We didn't learn community organizing. We didn't learn behavioral science or developmental psychology or sociology or neurobiology. We didn't learn the complexity of human behavior. We learned laws and punishments. That's it. We learned, it's a very black and white education.
How you doing? How are things?
I'm good. I'm just doing the homework right now, so.
Yeah, what class?
This is my last week of the microeconomics.
I hate micro and macro, I ain't gonna lie. I think I'll probably, frankly, hate macro worse than micro, but I didn't like either one.
Through Justice Rising Project 77, we are integrating our model of holistic community-based legal services by adding lawyers and case managers with the social services that those organizations have been developing and working on for decades in their communities.
So with our peacemaking work, a lot of our work involves connecting with youth who are involved in the streets. So we have currently a few hundred that we're already working with that are connected either to probation, aftercare services, but one area that we've been historically lacking in is legal representation. And so a project like Justice Rising is huge because we can mix a mentor, a street outreach worker, a case manager, a victim advocate, and a community-based legal representative. That's a team around the young person that really can help them thrive for the future.
Having access to a lawyer, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have been in there with a public defender. A public defender just basically, whatever the deal is, just take it so they can just cross it off their list, and on to the next one. Cliff didn't do that, he put years into helping me. That's what a lot of people need in this situation. If nobody to give up on them, a good lawyer to continue to fight with them until it's over.
But I actually wanted to talk to you about saying about getting my record expunged.
Yeah.
I think it's probably around that time now.
I think you're probably right.
Here at Breakthrough, we know that legal representation is important. It's not something that we can provide. And so to have someone here on site able to provide that kind of service and attention to our young people is life transforming.
All right. And then you won't have an next court date. Like I said, you only get a next court date if any problems come up.
Generally speaking, I would say 30 to 40% of the young people that we work with are actually justice involved. It's a very complex system, and even our mentors that are working with justice involved youth, they don't understand it fully. So just having access not only for young people, but for organizations to an attorney that can explain those systems, it's a big deal for us.
I'm a Cook County Commissioner. This is even more exciting to me as a commissioner, because what that means is we can take what we have learned here and create public policy and legislation around it.
We believe in stronger together. This is the first step of going from one agency with legal representation and LCLC to then now expand to the first four in this Justice Rising movement. and then continue to see that expand to cover all then 77 communities in the future. So it's about taking the best of who we are as individual agencies, bringing them together for the sake of our young people in Chicago.
I do own a business, Land Resolution. Right now I know I clean 3 banks. With my morning jobs, I can have about 4 to 5 employees working under me. And you know, at night I usually have 1 or 2. That is the current contract that I have under my business, and I'm just seeking more contracts and eventually hire more employees.
For me and for us, this is generational change. It means that we can take a client from one level and change the trajectory of their actual lineage, which means that we stop the cycle of individuals going to incarceration and making them more productive citizens. I think that is a dream of all of my friends who are legislators, and it's certainly my dream.